For the most common types of hearing loss, and that would be, we call it a sensorineural hearing loss. It happens at the nerve endings, and it's the most common. Over 95% of people that I see in my practice have that sensorineural hearing loss, which is permanent. Most commonly associated with aging, also with noise exposure. There are potentially hereditary factors as well. That hearing loss is permanent, and at this point in time there's no cure, there's no treatment for it. I have colleagues at Harvard and at MIT that work directly in this area, and they tell me that they're at least 5 years away from anything that might represent treatment for the most common causes of hearing loss, or the most common expression of it. What hearing loss does is it presents a barrier or a hurdle for sound stimulation to get through to the brain. So the role of the ear is to convert rapid changes in air pressure, sound, into electrical impulses. And the interface where that occurs, the nerve endings, that's the typical site where things go wrong. So that damage is permanent. And what it does is it presents a barrier or a hurdle for that sound stimulation to get through to the hearing centers in the brain. So when we treat hearing loss, effectively we're overcoming that barrier or hurdle and allowing proper stimulation through to the hearing centers in the brain. And provided that those areas are stimulated consistently, and generally that means wearing hearing devices at least 12 hours a day, we can see an improvement in not only the function of those areas, they start to work better, but the science is showing us that the structure can also be improved, right? We know that with untreated hearing loss, these parts of the brain can start to shrink, and that modern MRI imaging is showing us that we can actually get regrowth back into those areas when we stimulate those areas correctly, right? So in that respect, the brain is changeable. You know, we call it plasticity or neuroplasticity. The ear doesn't have plasticity. Once that damage is done, it's done. However, the hearing centers of the brain, when we catch hearing loss in time and treat it appropriately, we can see improvements in the ability to hear, in quiet situations, in noisy situations. And what the science is also showing us is that we can see improvements in cognitive function.